Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to my channel if you are new. Thank you so much for stopping by today for another Ruby Tuesday Design Team Project. I really appreciate you checking out today's project share. So today's project are uh, pressed flowers, ephemeras, inspired of course mainly by Heather's latest kit to date. At the time I'm recording this, it might be a little while before I post it. Um, which are and a few other prints that I have picked up from extra prints, which I'll let you know later. Um, so um, this kit came out like around the time I was working on the evergreen journal and the botanist. No, not the botanist. The altered tin box combo that I did, and I love this pressed flower prints, and I jumped into making that this ephemeras immediately soon after I finished the project. And I wanted to share how I incorporate pressed flowers on my journal pages and ephemeras like this that I've been doing for quite a long time now. So I use or glue it or decoupage it with the thick matte gel medium, the first one that I showed. I have two. The other one is kind of like thinner and very wet that when I brush it off print, it smears the color of the print. So um, I prefer the thick matte gel medium. And you could use any glue you want. We use in our crafting, Fabri-Tac, the tacky glue, and so on. It's just my preference to use the thick matte gel medium because it's matte and it looks more natural when dry. Sometimes I seal it off also with the same, the matte gel medium. And I have a little clip here of how I did some of it, which showing right now. So I brush off the matte gel medium over the foliage or the pressed flowers, and then glue it onto the image or the paper. If it's just like generally adding the pressed flower, the if the flower is or the pressed flower or leaves are kind of like big, what I do is I paint the surface over, kind of like eyeball it how far the pressed flower would occupy, and then kind of like paint the matte gel medium over. That's why I said that I prefer the heavy matte gel medium because it's drier, so it won't cause the ink to activate and spread out through the paper. And then you could just like reinforce it later, like the edges, or you could even go beyond the surface of the large pressed flower because the finish is really matte. And you can see that I am sealing the rest of the the pressed flower, and it's very nice. It's easier to spread the glue, the gel, with the brush. I use a smaller one here because it's they're small foliages and flowers, but you could use a bigger one if the pressed flower is bigger. And also when the pressed flower is bigger, I usually brush off the glue onto the print. That's why I prefer the thicker matte gel medium, because when I directly uh, paint over the image, it won't smear. Uh, so I selected a few pressed flowers, dried leaves, and flowers to incorporate into the images in the kit. These were from like last year. I made some press. I made this. I made this press. The pocket size flower presses with cardboard, and is one of the. I incorporated some of the pressed flowers into it, and so that kind of like going back into it also. So I printed, like what I was saying, I printed all the images in the kit. Maybe there's, I think there's one image that I printed a couple, and I backed down, I printed them different sizes. I backed them up with is it, I think it's the vintage document, I think neutral shade, and I printed all of them in different cardstocks, like neutrals, ivory, so I didn't have to glue to a sturdier base. And I love these images from the the kit, that aside from the print of the florals and the foliages, there is an inlay silhouette of some other plants or foliages. That's why I love it. So I sped up the rest of the video to cut it a little even shorter. So for the rest of it, after decoupaging the pressed flowers, or some of it even before finishing up the ephemera, I decorated it with some fabric trims, laces, ribbons, added some charms to the others, um, like that. And like what I said, some of them I tried to mimic the image, so it kind of just like add another dimension or texture. Like this one is a image of a fern, but I added a cypress, a little bit of a cypress. And this one, I contrasted it with a different color leaves. um like what I said, maybe some of them I'll be using as cards, greeting cards. Some of them can be used as add-ons to journals. These are like floating pockets that I collage with some embossed paper. You could use it in Happy Mail, and definitely there are a few of these ephemeras that I plan to use in future projects, and some of them may be added to some of my previous projects that I still have in stock. This one I run through the embossing folder with a thick layer of other stuff, and it broke, so I kind of mend it up with some parchment paper and stitch it around. Then I added some prints from, these are just extra prints from previous projects. I think this one is from the tag kit. Not sure what which one. This is, I know for sure, is a scrap. And this one is from the Art Nouveau, and I decoupage like a bigger flower, kind of a lily. I think maybe Art Nouveau or something else. And this one is a little a scrapbook paper, not part of the kit. And this is something that I did previously, long time ago, on Instagram. And those are like strips of scraps. Another scrap paper maybe. This one is an extra print, but I'm not quite sure what kit is that from, as well as this. But I'll try to recall them. And this last one with the added color is from an image that I isolated from the Violette kit. And instead of decoupaging, I just made a pocket and inserted some of the pressed lavender flowers. So I won't be talking through for the rest of it. I split the pressed flower kind of ephemeras in half, and the rest I'll just put into some music. And if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will try to get back with you for an answer. Might take me a little while sometimes, but I know I'll come back to it. And again, thank you so much for joining me today for this project share, and I hope you got some inspiration, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.